A wedding made in the metaverse. A Singapore couple tied the knot at a local hotel while their avatars did the same in the metaverse at the Alkaff Mansion, bridesmaids, best men and all. They're calling it Singapore's first hybrid metaverse wedding. The distinctive architecture of the venue recreated from 3D scans. Avatars of the bride and groom, Joanne Tham and Clarence Chan, walking down the aisle in their 1970s disco-themed wedding. The experience was put together by the owners of Alkaff Mansion One Group and the Smobler Studios.
And we are joined virtually by the newlyweds as well as Joanne Tham, marketing representative of Alkaff Mansion. First to Clarence and Joanne. Congratulations on your wedding. But the question we really wanted to know was, why have a metaverse wedding on top of the physical one? Did you meet in the metaverse?
Thanks for having us. We actually met in real life. Back then, the metaverse wasn't that much of a thing 8 years ago. But we had this idea of a crossover because we wanted to create scenes that both reflect and exceed what we could do in the physical. So our wedding involved, of course, us and key characters like a dog, our solemnizer, family and friends in a voxel form. But we also had items that we couldn't really do in real life. For example, like super trees, a Cinderella horse carriage, a giant calligraphy sign of the sea signage, a dance party, even a Singapore flag that we planted because we were the first in the world to do this in Sandbox. And just like Neil Armstrong wanted to plant the Singapore flag, being proud Singaporeans ourselves.
Joanne, I take it you were partner to this scheme as well. What did you feel doing it? Did you feel you got what you wanted to out of starting this whole endeavor in the first instance?
Yes, definitely. So I think it's something that Clarence has always been really excited about, to explore, given the nature of his job at Bandwagon Labs and also his interest in crypto and the metaverse. And we're really excited because we were able to replicate some, aspects, of our wedding onto the metaverse, from our vows to the attendees or avatars, including my dog Bella, and even right down, to the outfits, where we managed to create a boxer version of my designer gown.
Jessie, bring you into the conversation now. Was it something that surprised you when Joanne and Clarence came to you with this idea, or how did the genesis come about, and why did you, as Alkaff Mansion, and a very important part of this wedding, get involved?
Hi, yes. Thank you for having me. So the Alkaff Mansion is a century-old heritage building. So we are a popular venue for weddings, and it's really due to the grandeur and romance of the space. So we worked really closely with Smobler Studios to ensure that the wedding process and planning was done well, was smooth. We wanted to ensure that the key features of the Alkaff Mansion, for example, our garden conservatory, as well as the European-style water fountains on our open courtyards were being featured, and including the large main broad balustrade grand staircase that you see in the video that was also being featured as well. Yeah, so keeping in mind, of course, the couple's choice and theme of the 70s style wedding that transformed the whole space.
Oh, Jessie, Alkaff Mansions does have fairly distinctive architecture, but so will other buildings in Singapore. So this happy couple, they have set the precedent for what can be done in the metaverse. So there will be other places that will be utilizing their distinctive architecture to ride on this bandwagon. You've got a head start here. How do you intend to make use of the head start you have to ensure that Alkaff Mansion keeps its place as the place to be if you want a metaverse experience?
Yeah, so the charm of the metaverse is really about having something where traditional weddings cannot. So as one of the properties under One Group, where we have several other heritage properties with distinctive architecture and as well as iconic venues, we are definitely encouraged where couples may wish to hold their metaverse weddings with us. It's really an option for them, that it's a value-added service that we provide where they can have their wildest dreams come true. So, whether they want to have a wedding in space, or, even having the bride entering, for example, on a unicorn. Yeah. So this is something where we can offer, and we are really excited to be part of this new journey where we can pave the way for the future of weddings.
And, Singapore still being very somewhat traditional, the weddings are also for the couple, but also for the family and friends to enjoy. So I'm wondering, how did you convince your family to be a part of all this, particularly, maybe the older members who have not been exposed to the metaverse?
Oh, that's a very good question. So we definitely still had to have a physical wedding where our aunts and our uncles could all come down and celebrate. But thankfully, once we had that, everything else was up to our creative control. And what is exciting is that, in a metaverse wedding, you're not just limited to coming in your physical human form or wearing like typical clothing, but you can come in like, as an alien, as a robot, as a polar bear, and the possibilities are endless. And Web3 allows us to give things like attendance passes, NFTs, which allow us to offer token-gated utility like, say, VIP access areas or special badges. And it's things like that that kind of enhances the overall wedding experience. So when we told this to our family, it needed some adjustment, but they were excited by the possibilities that the technology offers, and we're definitely looking forward to looking more into this for our future family events as well.
I just wanted to add that our families were really supportive and very excited actually when we shared the idea with them. And I think the concept and the videos were also very well received by our guests at the wedding. So I think many of whom were truly excited because this is actually their first time attending, a wedding that combines both, physical and metaverse and, like virtual metaverse elements as well.
Well, I have to say we can't wait to see what you're going to do for your anniversary next year. Thank you all for joining us. We've been speaking with newlyweds Clarence and Joanne, also Jessie Tham from Alkaff Mansion.